You're watching Picks on Politics with Dan Manarino.
And welcome back, everybody. You know, the weather finally getting warmer, right? And that means that we're going to be flocking outside, enjoying the beaches, the pools, other outdoor fun that the city has to offer, right? The City Parks Department has a new leader, Rodriguez Rosa. Mayor Adams promoting her this past week. She is the first Latina to hold the job. Before that, she served as the first deputy commissioner and the Bronx Borough Commissioner for the Parks Department. Her work in the Parks Department spanning nearly 40 years. And Ms. Rodriguez Rosa is joining me now. So great to have you here, Commissioner. Good to see you.
Oh, pleasure to be here, Dan.
So I want to begin first and foremost with what we're kind of seeing here, which is big congratulations on the promotion to you first and foremost. Long history. So I want to ask you about the focus that we're seeing right now on the summer months ahead, right? As the Commissioner, you know that there's been this lifeguard shortage, right? So how is it looking heading into the summer months as people head outside to the pools and beaches?
Oh, absolutely. It's looking wonderful. We're on target with the numbers that we have currently. And we expect to have a full complement in the coming months. We are definitely having all our beaches and pools open and ready to serve the public.
So what does that look like in terms of staffing, though, like in terms of numbers, right? Because what do you need to effectively not have to close any sections of beaches or sections of pools? What's the goal number and where are we at?
Well, over 1,000 is the number that we look forward to. And that last year we had about 930, which was about 49% than the previous year. So we're looking to be able to increase that this year as well to do that. But we even all throughout those years we didn't close anything. We didn't close any beaches. We had some sections that are closed, but that's always also the case when there's riptides and things of that nature. But we had all our pools were open and all our beaches had lifeguards.
So there were some new hires this year, right?
Yes.
How many?
So right now we have currently about 375 that are currently in the training program, and then we also have recertification when we have lifeguards that have come to us from the past. They're recertified to be able to serve us again.
Okay. So does that mean you're still actively recruiting?
So right now what we do is we have whatever we have in the training classes currently because we do qualifiers in December and then we start our classes in March.
Okay, so those that are in the training session should be good to go by when?
Yes, they should be every single day. We're increasing the numbers, and we will continue to do this till mid-July. Okay,
that's good. So no anticipations of having to close anything?
No.
Okay. You know, unfortunately, when we talk about the summer months, you also see an uptick in crime, specifically outdoors because of the warmer temperatures, right? So how are you kind of keeping kids safe in certain areas of parks, so on and so forth, around the city?
Well, you know, the mayor is about safety, and so he talked about the safety, the summer safety program, and we also continuously work with NYPD. NYPD is a very good partner with us, and they help us staff our beaches and pools and parks and help us, along with in terms of the safety of our public in our parks.
The mayor also announced the We Outside Summer program. It's right now that's a big initiative that you were alongside the mayor for. And what can we expect from that?
So what we have always is the partnership that we have with NYPD. So they meet with us regularly to be able to look at what the locations are that need most attention, and we have the commanding officers of the precincts are very much aware, and we meet with them regularly to see where there may be an uptick or where there's concerns to be able to address it properly between both of us.
I spoke to the Deputy Mayor of Public Safety, Kaz Daughtry, this morning, who was talking about the We Outside program, talking about some things going on in Central Park as well with the Community Link programs that are up and running, and he talked about the pedicabs and how some of them, the Parks Department is going to be enforcing some rules with the pedicabs. What can you tell us about that in terms of enforcement?
Well, what we try to do is to make sure that we ensure that the public is safe. So we work together with NYPD and with the park enforcement to be able to address them, to make sure that the public is safe and not, finding their way, in terms of the pedicabs, not causing problems with the safety of the pedestrians.
So are we seeing an uptick in police officers as well as parks? I know they have their own kind of enforcers, right? Parks Department has their own force.
Yeah, we have the parks enforcement program, and then we also have the NYPD also has a precinct in Central Park.
And so we're going to see an uptick of folks in the park, kind of making sure everybody is safe.
Yes.
Okay. You're also, I want to talk about the $23 million investment in revitalizing 3 acres of Nicha open space. That is huge, okay? And the question, I guess, is when you look at that, folks want green space. They want something that they can go to and sit and relax, right? Yes. So how much of that is going to be invested in that?
So there was $23 million invested in 6 locations through the Nicha locations. And it was a wonderful partnership because they rely on us as experts in the Parks Department to be able to elevate the the playgrounds that they have in the Nicha developments. So we're so very proud that we had 6 in total to be able to address and to uplift.
Okay. I do want to talk about you while you're here, new in the role, right? So big congratulations to you on the promotion. We talked about your career spanning 40 years within the Parks Department. So I guess when you began, did you ever see yourself as one day becoming the commissioner?
Not at all. I'm a public servant, and I enjoyed every single day that I worked in the Parks Department to be able to work alongside wonderful park colleagues and to also be able to address issues of the community. I like to, I'm basically a grassroots type of person, and I enjoy hearing from the public what their needs are, because they're the ones that utilize our parks, and they're the public that we try to make sure that have the good, safe parks, and to make sure that we have proper programming for them to be able to enjoy.
So what is your #1 goal as commissioner? As you've been in, you know where the needs are, where the money should be spent. What is your #1 focus so that you could say, okay, I did that?
Well, it's engagement. Is to make sure that we are engaging the public and make sure that they are aware of what it's, in terms of vital parks. And I have to say that, my predecessor talked about vital parks and being able to have the public be able to know what is surrounding them and the tools that they can use to be able to advocate for their parks.
Yeah, and Sue Donahue obviously just stepped down as the commissioner here. And what is one thing that she is passing the baton on to you that you'd like to carry on?
Well, as I mentioned,
yeah.
the vital parks aspect of it is something that's very important. And for me, it's something about being able to have the public be able to enjoy our parks and be able to engage them, because we have so many volunteers as well that volunteer in our parks, gardening programs and
yep.
everything that's with it.
I talked to the city council members the other day that were on our show, Eric Botcher and Keith Powers, who were talking about the budget, and it is budget season and so yes. on and so forth, and that they would like to see more money given to the Parks Department in the budget, because they said parks are so vital. You're talking about how vital they are. Do you think that the budget needs to be brought up a little bit?
Well, when it comes to the budget, we always try to make do with what we have, mm-hmm. and people step up. And the wonderful thing about the Parks Department is that the employees are very dedicated to what they do. So they do the best with what we have and make sure that the public is served correctly. So, when it comes to budgets, of course, if we're giving additional budget, we'll make use of it yeah. properly. But we always want to make sure that the service is provided to the public.
Okay. Commissioner, great to have you here for one of your first interviews. Thank you for coming by and making this one of your first stops.
Absolutely.
I know it was a busy week for you, first week on the job.
Oh, thank you, Dan. Thank you so very much.